The camera opens on the warm glow of an African sunrise. Golden light spills over the edges of an abandoned runway in the heart of Zimbabwe. A single figure stands in the middle of that tarmac, his shadow stretching long like a prophecy. The wind hums softly through the surrounding fields, carrying with it a promise of something historic. This is not Silicon Valley. This is not Cape Canaveral. This is Harare, where the world just witnessed the impossible. The camera pans slowly, revealing an aircraft that looks like no other. Its sleek body glints in the morning sun, every curve whispering innovation. There are no fuel tanks attached. There are no solar panels shimmering. There are no visible engines belching smoke or noise. And yet, it flies. It doesn't just fly. It soars in silence, as though gravity has loosened its grip in respect. The world will one day call this moment a revolution. But for now, it's just a quiet secret on a dusty runway in Africa. The man behind it all steps into the frame. He is calm, composed, and almost reluctant to meet the camera. This is Maxwell Chikumbutso, a man with no formal engineering degree, a man who has never walked the hallowed halls of MIT or Caltech, a man who has no billion-dollar corporation backing him. And yet, today, he has done what those corporations have failed to do for decades. He has built Africa's first self-powered aircraft. Not powered by jet fuel. Not powered by solar energy. But by something the world cannot yet explain. The screen flickers to black and white archival footage. Old images of Maxwell in a small workshop surrounded by wires, circuit boards, and blueprints. His hands move quickly, sketching designs that look like fragments from another world. A subtitle fades in. Before the Green Falcon, there were whispers. The footage shows a small electric car rolling out of a garage. A narrator speaks softly. They called it a self-charging car. The camera zooms in on a dashboard as a driver nods in disbelief. No fuel. No plug-in charging. Just motion that never stops. Then another invention fills the screen. A boxy generator glowing faint blue in a rural village. Children laugh as lights flicker on for the first time in their homes. Wireless power towers loom in the distance like silent guardians of energy freedom. Maxwell was not new to miracles. But even for him, this aircraft was something different. Something bigger. The narration grows quiet, replaced by the sound of an aircraft engine that never starts. Drone footage captures the Green Falcon resting at the edge of the runway. Its name is stenciled in deep green letters across its gleaming fuselage. The morning of the first flight was still. No reporters. No sponsors. No government dignitaries waiting for a photo op. Just Maxwell, his small team of engineers, and an empty stretch of African sky. The takeoff was recorded on a single 4K camera mounted on a drone. At first, the footage looks like any test flight. Technicians in reflective vests check the landing gear. Wires snake from laptops to sensors on the aircraft's belly. Then, without fanfare, the impossible happens. The Green Falcon lifts off. No roar of combustion. No trail of smoke. Just silence and grace as it climbs higher and higher. The camera tilts upward, following its ascent against a golden horizon. 18 minutes. That's how long it stayed in the air. 18 minutes of sustained, silent flight. No fuel burn. No emissions. Just power drawn from something no one can fully explain. When the plane lands, the team doesn't cheer. They don't jump in celebration. They simply stare at the data, eyes wide with awe and fear. Because they know what this means. If it works, it changes everything. If it scales, it breaks the world as we know it. The footage leaks that evening. It appears first in a small WhatsApp group of Zimbabwean tech enthusiasts. Then it spreads to Twitter, Reddit, and obscure engineering forums. By midnight, it's everywhere. Aviation experts in Europe and the US watch the clip in disbelief. Some call it a hoax. Others run the numbers on the telemetry and find themselves speechless. Independent observers who were present at the runway confirm the event. Quietly, very quietly, government officials start making calls. The headlines begin to appear. Impossible flight over Harare. Energy that defies physics. Maxwell Chikumbutso, genius or fraud? The aviation industry, which has resisted major disruption for decades, suddenly feels the tremor. If Maxwell's technology is real, jet fuel becomes obsolete. Airports change. Airlines collapse. Military budgets scramble. Behind closed doors, panic spreads like wildfire. The narrator's voice grows deeper. But what exactly powers the Green Falcon? The camera cuts to an animated schematic. Glowing coils spin in silence. Magnetic turbines hum without friction. Nanocapacitors pulse with stored energy. The diagram labels the core, greener power unit. A closed-loop system that generates continuous power with no external fuel. No combustion. No heat signature. No exhaust. Experts stare at the readings, baffled. The data doesn't align with any known model. The power output is nonlinear. The efficiency is beyond theoretical limits. Some whisper about perpetual motion machines. Others insist it's an elaborate scam. But the footage does not lie. And if the device scales, it doesn't just change aviation. It changes power grids. It changes geopolitics. It changes the future. The camera returns to Maxwell in his workshop. He sits quietly, soldering something small and intricate. He doesn't look like a man chasing fame. He looks like a man carrying a burden. In a rare interview, he finally speaks. "The world doesn't need more patents," he says softly. "It needs liberation from energy dependence." His dream is not to sell to the highest bidder. His dream is to empower Africa first. To give light to villages still in darkness. To leapfrog an entire continent beyond fossil fuels. The scene shifts to children gathered around glowing LED lights in a rural school. A small plaque reads, "Powered by Maxwell's microgrid." His technology is already changing lives. But the aircraft is different. It's not just a local solution. It's a global disruption. And disruptions attract predators. Already, powerful entities are circling. Offers start arriving within days. Some offer millions. Some offer billions. Others send threats wrapped in diplomacy. Leaked emails show subject lines like mutual opportunity and strategic partnership. Behind those polite words are demands. License the tech. Sign the rights away. Give up control. But Maxwell does not respond. Not with words. Not with signatures. He simply keeps working. And that silence terrifies them more than any rejection. Blurred documents flash across the screen. A memo marked "Confidential" bears the logos of multiple governments. The text reads, "Priority target, energy anomaly in sub-Saharan region." A deep voice narrates in the background. "When you disrupt power, you disrupt everything." The footage cuts to a dimly lit lab. Maxwell and his team work through the night under flickering fluorescent lights. Blueprints cover every surface like fragments of a forbidden scripture. Laptops hum quietly, their screens filled with schematics and encrypted code. Then the camera shifts to an empty doorway. Outside, a black SUV idles with its engine running. The driver never gets out. Back inside, Maxwell pauses for a moment, sensing something. Then he goes back to work. This is what it means to stand against giants. Weeks pass, and rumors spread faster than facts. Telegram groups explode with speculation. Screenshots of flight data circulate like contraband. Some claim Maxwell has built a perpetual motion machine. Others say it's advanced military tech disguised as civilian innovation. A few insist it's alien technology reverse-engineered in Zimbabwe. But no one can explain the footage. The Green Falcon is real. And now, whispers of a second aircraft emerge. A grainy video leaks online late at night. It shows a sleeker, larger silhouette under a tarp. The caption reads, "Sky Lion." The internet goes into meltdown. Why build a second plane if the first was just a prototype? What is Maxwell planning? The narrator speaks slowly, deliberately. They said the Green Falcon was a miracle. Then he built something bigger. Sources claim the Sky Lion is intercontinental capable, built not for local hops, but for journeys across oceans. A rumor spreads that it flew from Harare to Cairo in total silence. No radar pings. No flight logs. Just a whisper of blue light above the clouds. If true, it changes the meaning of borders. It changes warfare. It changes trade. And it changes the balance of global power. The scene cuts to a map of the world glowing in digital blue. Points of light appear in Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas. These are not airports. They are servers. Encrypted data vaults holding fragments of Maxwell's designs. His team has scattered backups across multiple continents. If one lab falls, the dream survives. Because the dream is bigger than one man. The camera returns to Maxwell. He walks through his innovation center surrounded by young engineers. They look at him not as a boss, but as a mentor. He points to a circuit board and smiles faintly. "This belongs to you," he says. The vision is clear. This is not about one aircraft. It is about an entire ecosystem of energy independence. Self-powered drones that can map farms in remote villages. Flying medical units that can reach rural areas with no roads. Cargo planes that deliver aid without burning a drop of fuel. Flying taxis that make traffic jams a relic of history. And for the first time, this revolution begins in Africa. But revolutions attract resistance. Dark clouds gather over this bright dream. Reports surface of sabotage attempts. Someone cut the fiber line to Maxwell's lab in the dead of night. Hard drives go missing from a secure server room. A fire breaks out in a storage facility holding early prototypes. Coincidence? Or the long arm of those who fear disruption? Maxwell does not flinch. Instead, he doubles security. Moves his operations off-grid. Encrypts every design with quantum-level algorithms. He knows the game, and he knows the stakes. This is not just engineering. This is survival. The narrator whispers over a black screen. When you hold the future, you become a target. Then the screen lights up with a flurry of headlines. Chinese researchers attempt reverse engineering. European physicists demand transparency. DARPA classifies unknown energy system. In Berlin, a coalition of independent scientists holds a press conference. They call for an open review of Maxwell's technology. But they have no access to the core design. In Beijing, state researchers reportedly replicate a similar system within 72 hours. In Washington, black-budget insiders whisper Maxwell's name alongside top-secret aerospace projects. A redacted memo flashes for a split second. The only legible words are, strategic containment, priority level Omega. The music grows tense. The stakes rise higher. Because this is no longer just about a plane. It's about power. Power that could make oil obsolete. Power that could collapse trillion-dollar industries. Power that could rewrite the rules of war without firing a bullet. The narrator's voice hardens. And history teaches us that those who rewrite the rules rarely live long enough to read them. The camera cuts to a satellite image. A remote airstrip glows under moonlight. Two aircraft sit side by side. One is the Green Falcon. The other, the Sky Lion. They gleam like predators waiting to strike. Soldiers stand in the shadows. Engineers work in silence, faces lit by screens and hope. A single word appears on the screen in bold white letters. Test. The next scene erupts in movement. Engines hum without noise. Blue light pulses under the fuselage. The Sky Lion lifts off effortlessly. The runway disappears beneath it. Then the Green Falcon follows like a loyal shadow. Both aircraft vanish into the night sky. No sound, no permission, no boundaries. And somewhere, deep in the digital dark, encrypted live streams begin. Thousands watch silently. History is unfolding in secret. And this time, the whole world is listening.